Hey, what's up everybody? Landan with LMR.com. Today we're gonna be checking out 5.0 Resto's Fender Sound Deadener pad kit for the 1979 to 1993 Mustangs. These are to replace the original units that are on the car. Today we're gonna be working on our 1990 GT. I already have the inner fender splash shield removed on the driver's side. The factory Sound Deadener pad on this particular car, it's there, but none of the push pins are attached, and this little perforation or flappy thingy is what I'm calling it, has torn away from the main section of the pad. They're dirty, they're nasty, they just need to be replaced, and I feel like a lot of you will be in the same boat that we're in. For those of you out there that like to preserve good factory parts, pay attention when you take yours out. These are old, and whenever you start to go with a pry tool to remove those push pins, you can easily tear this material. So just be careful if you want to preserve your originals, but if you're like us where they're already damaged, just get the darn things out of the way. These are a factory style sound deadener, in that they're about 1 inch thick, and they're made from a composite fiber material that you'll find in like other uses around the vehicle or in the automotive space, and they have thermal and sound dampening properties, which that's the reason why they're called a Fender Sound Deadener pad, because as heat and noise kind of make their way through the inner fender splash shield and kind of around that metal section there, these help reduce that heat and reduce that road noise from making its way through the door and into the cabin of the vehicle. So what you're gonna get in the kit, you're gonna get a driver's side and a passenger side. This is the driver's side, and the way you're viewing it on screen is the way it's situated into the vehicle. So the extra set of cutouts here, this is the top, and then on the driver's side only, you have perforation here that clearances the upper railing of the car inside of the fender area, and this is where the cruise control module bracket gets situated, of course, on cruise control equipped cars. And then the passenger side Fender Sound Deadener pad gets positioned into the car the way you see it on screen. You have the more aggressive cutout here, and then some of the more smaller, finer cutouts here at the top. And then other than the Fender Sound Deadener pads, you get 6 push pins. Now the reason you get 6 is because some cars use 3 per side, some cars use 2. Use some common sense here. If you just have 2 attaching points, use 2 push pins. If you have 3 attaching points, use all 3 or all 6 of your push pins. I can't tell you the year break, unfortunately, as to what cars have the 3 push pins, which cars just use 2 push pins. You'll know right away when you get in there, you get your inner fender splash shield off, and you know what you're working with. Probably wondering, why the heck do I have gloves on? You don't have to wear gloves. I always do when I'm messing with composite fiber materials like this. The material can come off onto your hands and your fingers, and then just out of habit, you know, if you go to itch your nose or itch your eye or something, you don't want this material around that area, because it can make it sensitive, and you know, you'll be sitting there itching your eye for the rest of the day. We're gonna jump over here. We're gonna do the driver's side only, just because the steps will be the same for the other side. If you need help on removing your inner fender splash shield, we already have a video available for you. I'll leave a link for you down in the description. By the way, if your inner fender splash shields have seen better days, we sell the 5.0 Resto inner fender splash shields on the site. And those are always a good addition to the Fox Body Mustang, because inner fender splash shields, especially the OEM ones, they fade, they crack, they break. People that, you know, run wider wheels, wider tires, etc., from lock to lock, tire starts to rub a hole in those inner fender splash shields, and they just look crappy and cruddy like all the other, you know, old parts on the car. So we'll zip over here to the 1990 GT. Like I said earlier, this car has cruise control, so we're gonna get the cruise control module out of the way. You'll have to work like an extension in either an 8mm or a 5/16 socket back there to remove this. I'm probably gonna need a longer extension actually. There's one. 2 is difficult to see on camera. Y'all see it when you go to remove yours. I always like to set my cruise control module right here on the caliper and rotor, and you gotta kind of dance it out. Nice. Okay, so section of our factory sound deadener pad's already fallen out, and you can just see super crusty. That's what the original one looks like. It's all janked up. So that's why we now have a solution. Okay, so to install your new sound deadener, as stated previously, what you see on screen is how it gets positioned. You're gonna roll this perforation, this flap, inward, and you're gonna get it around the metal structure here. You'll get it up into place, and these situate really easy, which, by the way, if your car's dirty, you wanna do some cleanup, now's the time to go ahead and do some cleanup. I'm not gonna mess with any of that today. So now that we have this situated, this is where I was telling you all about the push pins. This particular car, it's a 1990 model year. There's no provision at the top. We only have a provision here at the center, and then here in the lower portion of the pad. So that's where we're gonna install our push pins. All right, I'm gonna align this and I'll get my dome out of the way so y'all can see the hole there. All right, so we'll go ahead and stab one, and then we'll align this lower spot, and then we'll go ahead and stab two. Now that third one, I'm telling y'all, that's not detrimental. These are just gonna sit in place. You know, you'll have the inner fender splash shield here protecting that. So if you don't have your inner fender splash shields, you need to get you some inner fender splash shields. So we're done on the driver's side here. We'll get our cruise control module resituated, get the bolts reattached, and then once you do that, you can reinstall your inner fender splash shield, or if you need to address other items in this area, now's the time to go ahead and address those items. Once you finish up on the driver's side, you can go ahead and repeat the same steps for the passenger side. All right, so wrapping everything up here, folks, it's a good, simple part from 5.0 Resto. For those of you that have been around the channel for a while now, y'all have heard me talk about the simple parts. And the reason why I like the simple parts is because there's a lot of simple parts that make up the car. This is definitely one of those. Feel good. They're feel good parts because typically they're usually easy to install, and then when you're done, you just kind of get that overwhelming sense of accomplishment. And that's definitely the feeling I get here with the 5.0 Resto Fender Sound Deadener Pad Kit. So as always, if y'all find value in what we do, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. And then until we see the next one, for all things Fox Body Mustang, keep it right here with the real enthusiasts, LMR.com.